Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we've got a really powerful but simple story. It's all about faith, hardship, and what kindness really looks like, especially when it feels like you have absolutely nothing left to give. So this prayer right here, this is really our window into the whole story. It comes from a young boy named Alex, who honestly feels like he's completely invisible to the world. And this wasn't just a one-time thing. This was his daily plea, just this quiet hope he'd send out. Okay, so to really get the weight of that prayer, we have to try and see the world through Alex's eyes. And let me tell you, it was a world that was often pretty cold and, pretty lonely. First off, he was a poor orphan boy. He was living all alone in this broken-down wooden house. No parents, no family to speak of. I mean, he was completely and utterly on his own. And food? He had almost none. Every single day was just a grind, a struggle to survive. The people in his village, they either just ignored him completely, or even worse, they treated him badly. It made getting even a tiny bit of food a constant battle. But, and this is so important, despite all of that crushing hardship, he had one thing left inside his heart. It was this simple faith. It was like his anchor, right? The one thing that kept him going and stopped him from being totally broken. So now we come to this one particularly tough day. A day where his faith, and really his whole character, was about to face its biggest test yet. This was a day that was going to push him right to the edge. So picture this, right? He worked all day under the hot sun for this really strict guy, Mr. Carter. And for all that hard work, what does he get? A small bag of food. Now, for us, that might not seem like much, but for Alex, this was everything, a real treasure. But then, on his way home, some older boys bully him. They just throw his food right on the ground, and he's left there with his hands shaking, just trying to pick up whatever he can from the dirt. And he looks up at the sky and just asks, "Am I so small that you can't see me?" It's not angry, It's just this quiet, painful question. And then he asks God for the strength not to become like them, not to let that cruelty get inside him. His heart was just heavy. But even then, he still chose kindness. And this, right here, is the turning point of the entire story. I mean, he's at his lowest point, but he makes a choice that is going to change everything. So on his way home, feeling awful, he sees this old, tired man by the river. And the man, it turns out, hadn't eaten all day. So here's Alex, hungry with almost nothing to his name, face to face with someone who seems to be in an even worse spot. And right then, something clicks. He remembers something his mother used to say: "When you give from the heart, you never end up empty." And he decides to act on that. He chooses to follow that idea. So what does he do? He gives the best piece of bread he has to this stranger. He cleans off the dirt and just gives it away. And in that moment, he feels this warmth in his chest for the first time all day. Okay, so what happened next wasn't just a simple walk home. It turned into something pretty profound. So after Alex helps the old man walk for a little while, the man suddenly stops. He turns and asks Alex this really powerful question: "Do you know who you walked with today?" And then he says it: "I am the one who never left your side. I am your God." And as he says this, the man's face just starts to glow with this warm light. It's the big reveal. Alex is just overcome. He whispers, "I thought you forgot me." He's finally saying out loud the biggest fear he's been carrying around this whole time. And God's response is just so reassuring. He says, "I never abandoned you." He says, "I was with you the night you cried alone, and I heard your prayers when no one else did." Basically, I saw every single tear. And then, the most powerful part, today you helped me. So what did Alex give? Just one piece of bread, but it was given with love. And what did he get back? Well, God touches his bag, and suddenly it's full of fresh bread, rice, and fruit. A direct reward for his selflessness. And from that day on, Alex just never felt alone again. He walked home with a full bag, yeah, but also with this peaceful heart. And his whole life started to change. Good people were just drawn to this new light he had. All right, so let's talk about the message here for you. Because the story really isn't just about Alex, is it? There's a message in here for anyone who feels like they've been overlooked. So why does a story like this matter? Well, it tells us a few things, right? That God sees your kindness. He sees your quiet tears. He multiplies what you give with love. And maybe most importantly, you are never walking alone. And God, well, He often shows up in these quiet little moments, not in some big, loud miracle.
Really, it all boils down to this. Your kindness matters. Your heart matters. It's as simple as that.
And this really sums up the promise of the whole story. That if you can hold on, one day doors will open where you once saw only walls. So let's leave it with this question. This story really makes you think, doesn't it? It makes you wonder, where might a quiet moment or a small choice be waiting for you?